Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Shots fired. Nobody will watch ESPN after what Sarah Sanders just released about them. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders stood by her report that it was a fireable offense for Jemele Hill to call President Trump a white supremacist. Sanders reiterated her stance from earlier this week and said that Sanders reiterated her stance from earlier this week at Friday's briefing after Trump's tweets on the subject. Several reporters followed up with Sanders and asked if the White House believes that Hill should be fired. "It's not my decision to make for a private company," she responded. Sanders then said that ESPN set a standard by punishing on-air personalities for political statements but not punishing Jemele. Cohn was told by her ESPN boss to stay home from work after questioning ESPN's business decisions in April. Share this everywhere if you will not be watching ESPN anymore. Let's show them the thousands of Trump voters that will not be watching their stuff anymore. We are tired of their political messages. Breaking: Trump looking to make a brilliant deal with Julian Assange of WikiLeaks. Democrats are done. For nearly a year now, Democrats have been claiming that it was Russia that hacked the DNC and exposed private emails to the world. The left says it is proof that Russia was colluding with the Trump campaign to ensure his presidential win. Julian Assange, the owner of WikiLeaks, has made it clear that Russia had nothing to do with the hacking and he has the documentation to prove it. It looks like the truth is finally going to come to light. President Trump is looking at a deal with Julian Assange that would pardon him in exchange for the truth about who hacked the DNC. The Hill reports. Representative Dana Rohrabacher, Republican California, sought a deal with the White House that would grant WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange a pardon or other act of clemency in exchange for information that he said would absolve Russia of blame for the 2016 email breach at the Democratic National Committee. In a phone call with White House Chief of Staff John Kelly on Wednesday, Rohrabacher said that the deal would involve President Trump issuing a pardon or something like that to Assange. In exchange for the pardon, Assange will provide a storage device containing evidence that Russia was not behind the DNC email hacks that led to the release of embarrassing internal messages last summer. The FBI attempted to investigate who actually hacked the DNC shortly after the incident, but the Democratic National Committee refused to hand over their servers for examination. We may now learn why they were so hesitant to have their computers scrutinized. If it wasn't Russia that hacked the DNC like Assange says, the entire narrative about Russia hacking the election will be blown out of the water. This is a smart move by our president and Democrats have every reason to be scared. They all flipped. Trump just got Democrats and Republicans to do impossible on tax reform. For years all we have heard that it was impossible to make Congress work because of how politically divided they are. Well, President Donald Trump just did the impossible today. After a bipartisan meeting this afternoon between Democrats and Republicans about tax reform, something amazing happened. They agreed. Thanks to the outreach of President Trump, Democrats and Republicans left the meeting in agreement that we need to lower the corporate tax rate and help the middle-class tax rate at the same time. After leaving the meeting, Representative Vicente Gonzalez, a Texas Democrat, told reporters, "I'm ready to work with the Republicans on anything that makes sense. We do have one of the highest corporate tax rates in the world, but I think also we need to find ways that will give relief to the middle class and working class." And Democrat Eric Swalwell said he is already working with Republicans on lowering taxes in California. So how do we know that this is thanks to President Trump's actions? Well, that is actually pretty simple. Representative Mike Kelly, ARPA, told his colleagues at the meeting that Trump's bipartisan deal for hurricane relief was a message that, it may not be what you want, but it's going to get done. And wouldn't you know it? Now things are getting done the way our founders intended. No tricks or power plays, just bipartisan deal-making for Americans, by Americans. Help share this out if you are as proud of Trump's success as we are. Ex-Washington Post reporter threatens to kill Trump with witchcraft. See what happened to her last victims. Sally Quinn, a former reporter for the Washington Post, just revealed how she could kill Donald Trump, and it's really weird. In an interview with USA Today, Quinn claims to be a witch with a violent past. There were 3 people who hurt me in some way, or hurt somebody I loved, and so I decided to put a hex on them, Quinn told the paper. Within 5 years, all 3 were dead. Quinn has since left the hexing business, but Trump has her considering her powers once again. Since Trump was elected, and since the election, I can't tell you how many friends have asked me to put a hex on Donald Trump, Quinn said. But don't worry. She claims that she has no intention of coming out of retirement. After making the threat, Quinn clarified, "I don't do that anymore." Somehow, I don't think President Trump is all that concerned either way. Quinn is hardly the first liberal journalist to attack Trump. Her method of attack is just a lot weirder, and a lot less effective. Share so everyone sees the insanity of the liberal media. Quinn might be the craziest example yet. Backstab Jeff Sessions just got really bad news in Chicago. Look what happened. In a major ruling, a federal judge in Chicago blocked the Trump administration from requiring so-called sanctuary cities from cooperating with immigration agents in order to get a public safety grant. U.S. District Judge Harry Leinweber wrote in a 41-page ruling that the Chicago has shown a likelihood of success in its arguments that U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has overreached his authority when he cut off sanctuary cities from federal funding. The judge also ruled that Mayor Rahm Emanuel's administration could suffer irreparable harm with immigration communities if the Jeff Sessions implemented the new standards. Once such trust is lost, it cannot be repaired through an award of money damages, making it the type of harm that is especially hard to rectify if Rahm Emanuel were to wait till the lawsuit is settled. This is total BS, and it just goes to show how powerful the swamp is. When we took government long ago, there were 3 branches of government. It wasn't the judiciary, the legislative, the executive branch, and some judge in Hawaii and Chicago. Share this everywhere if you think that Jeff Sessions has every right to take back funding from these cities that are more invested in helping illegals than they are citizens. Thanks for reading. Right after horrible London attack last night, Trump called for ban that Democrats will hate. President Trump made it very clear this morning that he is done with all the politically correct crap that Washington has tried to put him through. The breaking point was the horrible bombing attack on a subway late last night in London. The attack was the work of ISIS and proof that the danger of Islamic terror is far from over. But don't worry, Trump has a plan. He wants to make the ban on people entering from terror countries even bigger, tougher, and more specific. How could anyone in their right mind disagree with this sentiment at this point in history? Clearly, the dangers of radical Islamists is felt worldwide. We need to stand together now more than ever to defeat it. Now, this is obviously not to say all refugees are bad. There are bad ones and good ones, same as anybody. The problem is that it's impossible to vet people in many of these countries because they have no real government records. If you think it's high time America takes the threat of terrorism seriously instead of using it only for political gain and not actually stopping it, share this and make it known to everyone. Breaking: a White House press secretary has stepped down. Vice President Mike Pence's press secretary is now leaving the Trump administration. This just broke via AP. They are leaving to be an outside surrogate for the White House. Mark Lauder served as the top aide to Pence since the vice president was governor of Indiana. He worked as a spokesperson for Pence during the campaign. Lauder is going to work as a voice outside the administration. He says that he has been very honored to serve both the president and the vice president. He is going to help push the Trump agenda from outside the administration. Lauder has often made the case for the vice president's policies. Thank you for all your hard work, Mr. Lauder. Let's give him a good send-off, patriots. Tell him goodbye below and thank you for standing up to the lamestream media.